Yo. Welcome back, everyone, to the PEMDAS podcast. I am back today with Mr. Derek Rolfe to my right, Mr. Anthony Sasma to my left,
Hello.
And at the end, Mr. Wally Gordon. Hello, sir. Welcome back, everyone.
Too slow.
Let's get it going today.
slow.
Look at them. They're all excited.
hurt you.
I'm excited. Let's talk about some more NBA stuff.
The
that we've been
Wolves
looking
are back.
at.
Wolves back.
The Wolves
in
are
five.
back.
The Wolves are
Wolves
so
in
back,
five.
and we're excited to talk about that
We're gonna win
eventually.
the finals.
But something else has been happening in the background of the NBA. There's a little bit of a draft lottery that occurred a few days ago.
Yes, sir. Was
Because today is May something.
May the 4th.
17th.
May 4th today.
May 17th. It's May the 4th again, guys.
It's May 4th.
We don't know dates.
Welcome back.
We're going to
again.
predict the
We
draft
tell it
lottery.
every time.
Number one, I'm gonna guess.
Somehow the Mavs.
I feel like the Mavs might
Dude, the
snag it.
Spurs,
Maybe the
I feel
Spurs
like are
number 2.
Yeah.
I can see that.
Joel Embiid needs help. Sixers
Yeah, that
number
may work.
3.
Yeah.
Embiid might not
Yeah.
play a game in the rest of his life,
Yeah. We should go
except
to
against me
casino
in the
and
rec
put
league.
some-
Probably.
Exactly.
Probably.
Here, yeah.
Yep. So we were laughing. We gave a little foreshadow right there about some of the picks, how it ended up. So let's just talk. How did this draft lottery end up, guys? Who ended up with the first overall pick?
Okay, the Dallas Mavericks.
Yeah, there we go.
I mean, wow. R.I.P. if you're a bottom 3 team. That is brutal for them.
That is so bad. If
Yeah.
you're like a small market team that has no hope,
And that
you just
blend-
got screwed.
That leads to the question: is the draft lottery even succeeding? Because the top
I don't like
3
the
are
new
all
system.
teams
I
that did
really
not
don't
need
like
to
the
be
new
in
system.
I agree.
I don't like the system that cut the odds for the top losing team. The
Yeah.
Wizards were horrible. They kind of thinned the odds of a top 4 pick. So, like, the fact that they could get, like, the 5th or 6th pick, because they ended up with the 6th pick, I think, or
Yeah.
something stupid.
The Wizards
like that.
did?
Yeah, it was a
Yeah.
six.
Or
yeah.
That's brutal.
That's really bad, because that team, imagine having to watch that team, like, actually going and waking up.
That's 16 wins.
Oh, yeah, no, yeah.
Imagine being a
That's
season
the
ticket
6th
holder.
pick?
Dude, so the thing that I don't get about the NBA is they're saying, like, obviously we don't want teams to tank. Like, I get it. But at the same time, are you telling me that you would rather watch the Wizards the last 5 years, watch
The Jazz.
watch the Brooklyn Nets this year,
The Hornets.
the Hornets, if LaMelo Ball's not playing? Like, I don't understand what they're trying to get at that point.
yeah.
Yeah, they're kind of stuck in basketball purgatory pretty much. They just kind of you have to hope for a bounce of balls a certain
Yeah.
direction pretty much.
What I don't like is,
There you go.
Yeah.
is
There you
how,
go.
like, what I don't like is how, like, sometimes they'll say, oh, the Pistons, I'm going to use the Pistons because they always seem like they were in the lottery. It'd be like,
Yeah.
oh, the Pistons got the 3 pick. That means that the Wizards can't get the 2nd pick. And I'm like, they're still available. Like, why can't they get the 2nd pick? The math just doesn't line up with some of those now.
Yeah. Well, I mean, you look at the NFL, and yes, some teams tank towards the very end of the season, but it's not a big problem. I
Also,
think they
the
should
NFL
eliminate the lottery or like only have the top 3 or 5 teams be in it.
Yeah, I also think the comparison, it makes a lot of sense. The NFL versus NBA, I want you guys' opinions on this. How much can one player, generational player, affect a team? Like, let's say the number 1 overall pick in the NFL versus the number 1 overall pick in the NBA. Let's
So
say.
think of the
Or a
best
top 5
prospect
pick.
in our lifetime, Andrew Luck.
Of
Well, for the
all
NFL?
sports?
For NFL.
Or
It's no, for
NFL.
NFL. Yeah.
Yeah.
It might be Peyton Manning.
All right, okay, yeah. I
Well,
guess,
we
but-
can disagree.
But say
with
Peyton
this.
Manning. He's like an all-time great.
Yeah.
And then say you got
Well,
LeBron. Well, they're kind of similar.
the
but
thing
say you
about
got-
really quick.
Yeah.
Not all years are created equal in the NFL.
it's also true.
Like
Yeah.
the NBA is also like that, but there's typically at least one guy who's like going to be a star.
Mhm.
The NFL, like there might be a year where quarterback's the biggest position that's really going to matter. And if you're picking first, you kind of want to get that franchise guy. There
Yeah.
are years where that just doesn't. There's no franchise guy.
This year. Yeah.
Probably this year.
Hey, Cam Ward.
Oh,
Yeah, I don't think so.
So
Cam
it's
Ward,
tough.
Matthew Golden also could be.
No. Packers fan.
also, I saw this thing where that, like, I wish I could cite it, but I don't know who said it, but they were like, some guy for ESPN, like Jeff Goodman, I think. He said, yeah, this has been the easiest number 1 pick in like 10 or 15 years. I was like, dude,
10
we
or
just
so-
had Victor
I was about to
Wembanyama
say,
2
I
years
saw
ago.
that tweet on Twitter.
You saw
I'm
the
like,
same
that's
thing?
ridiculous.
Yeah.
Wemby's like a top 5 prospect ever.
I know.
He is.
He's probably
yeah.
Is he the
Might
best
be number
prospect
1.
ever?
Yeah.
I mean,
I-
Well,
honestly.
LeBron, probably.
Yeah, LeBron. More
Since
versatile.
LeBron, he is
Yeah.
the best prospect, I think.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, I
Zion
agree.
was up there too. But
I saw that same thing. Like,
Zion
I
was
don't know.
not.
hype wise, yeah.
I just
Hype-wise,
think
sure, but-
everyone's dopamine is just destroyed.
Yeah.
Everyone's
Yeah.
like, "Oh shoot, I forgot about a couple years ago, Victor, the Victor sweepstakes." Everyone was freaking out about that more than this one. Like, honestly, I think there's more news coverage back then of like, oh my gosh,
yeah.
who's going to win the lottery?
As there should have
Victor.
been.
Like,
Mhm.
people were freaking out, like, thinking about trading. I saw some stuff like, should the Sixers trade Embiid for the number 1 overall pick?
And they should
They
have.
should
And they
have.
should have back
They
then.
should have.
Yeah.
Right? And then now with the Cooper Flag being the number 1 pick, that puts the Mavs in an interesting position where the Mavs can decide. There was a news article.
They've already decided.
that they've already decided they're going to pick Cooper Flag. They're not going to trade
Shocker.
him. But again, in the current world, for leverage reasons, you can put stuff out and make people think it's a done deal until someone could come in.
You never know. Yeah.
You never know
Yeah.
till they hand it to the commissioner and the commissioner says it's Cooper Flag.
Yeah.
I think.
And the Mavs honestly have a win now type of team. Like they're
For
not
sure.
built for the
They do.
future. So I
Yeah.
mean,
Aging
even though they're not in
injured
the
stars.
playoffs, but they have 2 stars.
Their
they got
front
some role
court
players.
is insane.
PJ Washington's really
Their
underrated.
dude, their length
Yeah.
and defense is crazy.
They got
Cooper
Cooper
Flag's-
PJ Washington.
Yeah. Cooper
So-
Flag's gonna fit them very well. Like they will
Yeah.
be.
Oh, yeah.
They should
Him
be
at
a
the
top
3,
6 seed next year.
Him at
So
the 3,
with
Davis at the 4.
yes,
Yeah.
that'd be an amazing lineup.
Gafford is.
Lively at the
I was
5.
gonna- yeah, it's gonna be lively because Gafford's a free agent.
I have seen people that are trying to give Nico, that's his first name, right? The GM,
Yeah.
trying to
Nico
give Nico credit for how he did this
No.
whole thing. That is the most bailout. That's like
Oh.
saying that's like airballing a 3 and the guy get offense rebounds and puts it in and says you got an assist. It's like,
Yeah,
bro,
it's
like,
not
bro,
something that was-
bro, you did nothing. You got saved.
Got
were
saved
you
by
were
the
you
freaking
saved
Adam
on
Silver.
purpose? Did Adam Silver knock on your door a few months ago to tell you, "Hey,
We need a star in LA.
Maybe we need a new heir for LeBron in
Yeah.
LA."
Ratings are down. Send them to the biggest
I was going to
market.
say, getting to that, there is
Yes.
that conspiracy that Adam Silver called and was like, LeBron's about to retire. Ratings are down. We need to keep a star in LA.
We need someone in LA.
Well,
The
Nico is the dumbest guy who would
yeah.
make this possible. Please trade him. We'll repay you later.
Honestly, but if that was factored into it, then Anthony Davis and Cooper Flag for Luka, that's quite the trade, man. If you ask me.
Yeah, that's interesting.
And
yeah.
coming up, I mean, Luka's probably at an
And Max
all-time
Christie.
low in value.
Max Christie.
Yeah,
too.
he is for
after,
sure.
after the first
For
round
sure.
series against us, he's
Yeah.
at the Timberwolves. He's probably at an all-time low for value.
Mhm.
So,
Yeah.
it looks good, but Nico still could have gotten so much more for Luka.
Oh yeah,
Which
like the
makes
fact
it-
that he didn't even get Reeves
Which
back
makes
is
it,
crazy.
which makes it even I think we should get into. Do we believe the conspiracy theory that the Mavs were rigged for the first overall pick? But before getting into that, it does make no sense that he didn't shop him around and decided
Yeah.
to give him to LA on a bad deal.
yeah.
Yeah, I never really understood the quick. That was just a really emotional decision. It seemed like there's always, for big decisions like that, there's always stuff under the surface that might get to you. Like players will have little issues here and there. Like in a league where only 5 people are on the court at a time, there's going to be some divas. There's going to be some stuff here and there. You can get mad at players for what they do on their personal time. And if you aren't getting the ultimate goal of winning a championship, then you can start to get angry. But that type of a move, not at least shopping him a little more, or making it known would lower his value a little bit. But
It wouldn't, though.
It wouldn't though, because it's
I mean,
Luka
it's
at
a
that
good
bidding
time,
war.
I
Yeah.
guess.
You'd get a bidding war. Out
Yes.
of it.
Yeah,
I'm
they
just-
play that so poorly.
see, what I'm doing is I'm trying to think like
Yeah,
how
well,
is
yeah, the
how is
Warriors
Nico
GM, he didn't know about it.
how is
Yeah.
Nico
I mean-
not an idiot? Which the more and more I keep talking out loud, the more and more it makes it seem like he is.
He is because he asked the Wolves.
Yeah.
It was for Ant, and then Milwaukee for Giannis.
Yeah.
Which
and
that's
that was
kind
like
of
the
like
only 2 other teams. That
And
I
both teams
believe-
said no.
that's,
Yeah, they said
that's
no,
like bro,
yeah.
it's like we're playing fantasy. I'm like, hey man, I'll trade you CMC for Jameer Gibbs. What do you think?
Okay,
It's just
yeah,
like, what are you
if-
doing, man?
If you're the Bucks though, and you say, what would you say to that? You give up Giannis for
Oh.
Luka.
I would keep Giannis for sure. I think Giannis is significantly better than Luka.
Think of the
Saying
time.
it
so
now,
tough.
So Giannis is
saying it
30.
now.
Yeah.
His game's not going to age well.
But
No.
he'll be
Luka's a 25-year-old. I would have taken that if I was the Bucks.
Giannis hasn't played a full. Well, to be fair, neither has Luka. But Giannis hasn't played a full season in a while.
Luka could not stand being in Milwaukee though. That's
Oh,
the
no,
problem.
no.
Luka would. So
Yeah.
I get it. I think Giannis is a better. I don't know. They're both.
Giannis is great for Milwaukee.
They're both 2A, 2B in this world.
Yeah.
right?
Yeah. So what that point too? You said he wouldn't be able to handle Milwaukee.
I don't think he would.
Nico
no.
wouldn't. Nico at that moment didn't care what Luka
Exactly.
thought.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
like,
But I'm thinking
it's
as
pure
a
for the
Milwaukee.
team.
Yeah, as
Yeah.
a Bucks, but also
I think
like,
they
why
like
would you
the
swap them?
The idea of
You
it's
know?
like, oh yeah, I'd take Luka over Giannis, but then you got to think about how long are you going to actually be able to keep Luka.
Like, is it worth
It'd be
it?
2 years probably, and then he'd just throw a fit. So.
Yeah.
Yep. So, I mean, kind of speaking on the Giannis thing, the big part of that draft, too, is everyone freaks about the number 1 pick, but who got number 2, man? The Spurs. The Spurs got the
They're
number
gonna
2
be a
pick.
dynasty.
The current
again.
rising team.
They're going to be
terrifying.
Right.
so
So
good.
my initial thoughts immediately seeing that is that I think if you're trying to win in the crazy West, the West is only getting better. And the fact that Giannis might go to the West or KD might move into the West, again, he's still in the West, but to a better West team, just is insane. So to trade the 2nd overall pick, I personally, if I were the Spurs, I would try to package his number 2 pick and a couple of their young guys to get Giannis onto that team to win now. That'd be insane.
Yeah.
So here's the thing about the future of the West, though. I think the West, like you look at records, it's absolutely dominant. The West just doesn't have those really bad teams besides the Jazz. Because at the end of the day, you got the Thunder, you got the Spurs, and now you got to say you probably got the Timberwolves as like future potential dynasties or potential teams that are always going to be competing.
top 5 area.
Besides that, the Clippers are going down. The Grizzlies are they're hit or miss. But the Clippers are going down.
Yeah.
The Lakers are going down.
Warriors are going down.
The Warriors are going down. The Nuggets, they're going down. They're
currently about to be in the
I know,
finals.
It's
but
just
I'm
Jokic,
talking in like
bro.
if you look in
That's
3
literally-
years. From
It
now.
is just Jokic, yeah.
In 3 years, Jokic still might make them go to the semifinals, but
yeah.
I think there's only 3 teams that can really control their own destiny in the West, and the Spurs are one of them. I would maybe just keep the pick and ride it out and try to get a different timeline for Wemby. Because right now he's not going to be playing.
Because also, like,
Who
him
knows
and
if he'll be
Giannis
playing
would
next
be
year.
like the best pairing on it. I don't. Actually, no, they'd be very
Oh,
good.
that-
They would be
that
insane.
would be
I-
one of
that'd
the
be the
greatest.
best.
Wemby and
I was
Giannis,
like,
you're not scoring
yeah.
on that.
Yeah,
That's
no,
one of-
I-
that's
The
one of the
length
greatest.
insane.
I don't know what to say.
Fox
yeah.
throwing the lobs, Castle
That'd be
as a 3 and D
so
guy.
good.
Yeah, there is another thing to consider though. Wemby he is coming off like a blood clot.
That's what I mean.
situation.
Yeah.
So you don't know when he's coming back.
I would wait maybe until Wemby's like 23. Like that might be his winning. Like Ant right now. That might be the timeline where you got to say, okay, now is when we win.
So you
now
think-
when Wemby's 21?
So you're thinking Spurs just keep the pick?
I would just keep the pick, and
Who would pick who?
So
I think they would take
Either
do you
like
have any? Yeah, a lot of people think Harper,
Play
but
De'Aaron at
but
the 2?
That the problem with that is like Harper's the better player, but I think Ace Bailey fits that team better.
yeah.
So I
Or even VJ Edgecombe.
was gonna say
Edgecombe
I would maybe
too.
take Edgecombe over Bailey with the Spurs.
Well, because is Bailey too much of a ISO guy?
A little-
He's
Bailey-
kind of
Bailey's
he's got the
a-
Empty
MPJ in him.
stats.
Bailey is
Yeah.
the MPJ.
Yeah, I got some PJ in him.
Yeah.
But like, if you take someone like Harper, I don't know what they can figure because they also have Castle.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's
they have
kind of
Jeremy
the thing.
Sohan. Well, he's not really a point guard, but he does handle the ball.
I mean,
You just have too many ball handlers and not any shot makers.
I mean, you could bring him off the bench, but then are you going to waste a number 2 overall pick on your 6th man?
Yeah, it doesn't
like,
make
at
sense.
that point, you probably should maybe trade it then.
That's
what are they going to
interesting.
get? They're not going to
Right.
get Giannis for it.
Friggin'
No.
KD.
It's possible. I wouldn't mind that as a
That
KD
doesn't
fan.
match their timeline.
No,
again, though.
it
So I don't
doesn't
know,
match
like,
at all.
I mean,
That's
something
why I
that-
think you just got to ride it with Dylan Harper, and at some point, those guys are going to figure it out.
So something interesting I saw on Twitter and a podcast I listened to, I will not name them because they're our competitor,
Yeah.
but
Never give them
it
credit.
was Giannis going to Houston, and then it would involve the Spurs as well somehow. So it'd be like Sengun to Milwaukee,
Goon.
Sengun.
Send goon.
you're
Send the
right.
goon.
You're right.
Sengun.
You got
Yeah.
triggered
Keep
by
talking.
Goon.
Yeah, and then Giannis would go to the
Goon.
Rockets, Goon, and then somehow the Spurs would be involved, but they would get some sort of deal like out of it. And I don't know how
Yeah.
the Spurs really fit into that, but also the Rockets would be interesting for Giannis. Like maybe the Spurs get
I think
like
Giannis
Jabari
fits the
Smith or
Rockets.
something.
Yeah.
Like that could be interesting. Or
Giannis does fit the Rockets, but he just pushes them further down the we can't shoot, but let's play defense.
Exactly. That's the problem.
Yeah.
And that's kind of why they lost.
Yeah.
oh, definitely,
'Cause they got against another good defensive team that could actually score, and it was just kind of over at that point.
yeah.
They pushed to 7, I guess, but
Yeah, I would for
Still,
pure
shouldn't have even gotten that
pure
far.
fit reasons.
Probably not.
Rockets KD would fit better than Giannis, but Giannis is obviously better than KD.
I think the Rockets
It's-
will make that KD push.
I think so, and they've
Yeah.
been kind of downplaying it, saying I've seen some stuff where like the interest is one-sided now. Like the Suns, the Rockets are trying to sneakily get Devin Booker instead of KD, but I'm also like the
should.
Suns aren't going to trade Devin Booker.
They might.
Because how old is
He's
he
getting.
now?
He's like 29.
Yeah.
He's the whole face of that.
I
franchise,
think he'll
though.
stay
like,
there.
He
I mean, so
wants
is
to
Luka.
stay.
They're close.
I agree. If Luka
and
can,
like NBA GMs
Yeah.
have no loyalty.
if Luka can be traded, then Booker.
But
can.
it's also like
Nico's an idiot
yeah.
though.
the Suns have
Nico's
no
an
future
idiot.
right now. So what?
That's
You keep
true.
Booker and you are a below 500 team.
That's
You
true.
might as well blow it up.
I think they should, but it's going to really depend on how much loyalty they want, because Devin Booker wants to stay in Phoenix. He's been saying it over and over again. He wants to have like a Kobe-like career, apparently.
Yeah, but Kobe
So-
won.
Exactly. I agree. So it really just
Kobe had 3 by the time he was 29, probably.
Yeah.
it'll
at least.
just
He had
show.
Shaq.
And tore his Achilles.
Yeah.
But I guess he had Kevin Durant,
Yeah.
so
Exactly. So
Should've
it's
won
kind
at
of,
least
he
one.
Should've.
I
And
agree.
And
CP3.
CP3 who had a good year.
Mikal
yeah.
Bridges.
but he also had the double agent Bradley Beal.
Yeah, Bradley Beal, PTO, man.
so
And-
bad.
I'll say this about the number 2 pick. I thought
Greatest
about it.
nickname ever.
At the end of the day, if I'm the Spurs, I would trade it for Giannis, and I would probably say that's it. I don't know what else you would get. I would say Giannis is a guy that I would trade it for. At the
Yeah.
end of the day, it's Giannis freaking
Yeah.
Antetokounmpo.
Yeah, exactly.
But
You can't
anyone
pass up-
else?
Yeah.
Yeah, I wouldn't even
Like
trade.
Devin Booker.
No.
I wouldn't.
Yeah.
I would only be willing to trade that for Giannis as a
Yeah.
pure player.
Yeah, what do you think the trade would be? Sorry not to cut you off.
If the number 2 pick
Plus like Vassell,
Vassell, I think
Castle.
Castle, I
See,
think would have to
I
be
think
in.
I think if they throw Castle in, they could keep Vassell, but I don't really know if they care.
Castle Sohan, the second round pick.
Castle,
and
Sohan,
Sohan,
I think
another
second
couple
pick.
first maybe.
I'd say this year's first, next year's first, Castle,
Maybe a pick swap.
and yeah,
We should go in the NBA trade finder and just do some.
we could maybe do that.
Yeah.
Throw up
Maybe
the trade
next
finder
Maybe
right
add,
now.
maybe
Hey,
add a third.
maybe next
Trade
episode.
finder on top of the screen.
thing.
Next
Did the
episode.
trade work? We'll find out.
Yeah, but and then the number 3 pick too again, the 76ers, another big market
Yeah.
star-led
Shocker.
team that's had a bad year because of injuries, and now
I
they
know.
get bailed out kind of.
And now they get Ace Bailey, and he's
yeah,
gonna bust
if
there.
they get Ace Bailey,
Hopefully.
He's gonna punch Jared McCain.
Ace Bailey is a player that I would have loved in 2021.
Shout out PJ Hayes.
Shout out PJ Hayes, but
Shout out PJ.
6'8", 6'9", forward who just gets buckets.
Yeah.
Michael Porter Jr. 2.0.
6'7" actually.
But exactly, then it comes out he's 6'7". That's probably barefoot. Anyways,
Yeah.
he's a great player. He's not a winning player. It was clear in college he was just not a player that you could build around. If you're a top 3 pick and you have a teammate that's another top 3 pick, one of you guys, like, you got to make the
I
tournament.
mean, he can't
Yeah.
right now. But guess
No.
who else didn't win in college? Anthony Edwards. He
True.
wasn't a
That's
player
true.
you were going to build around right
Oh,
away.
yeah. I
And
wanted
now he's a
LaMelo.
top 5
Yeah.
player
We
in
all
the
want
league.
LaMelo.
We all wanted LaMelo. Yeah.
I didn't want LaMelo.
I did.
You want James Wiseman?
I wanted to trade the pick.
Oh.
Widely documented.
Yeah,
And that was a terrible idea.
So did all of our competitors in the media. They all wanted the Wolves.
Colin
to trade.
Cowherd wanted the Wolves to pick
Wiseman.
fourth. I
right?
don't know. Sorry.
Fourth.
It doesn't matter. Who cares about the 2021 draft or 20 whatever else?
My main comments on Ace Bailey. We'll talk about him in a few weeks once the draft starts heating up. But a lot of people, I like him because he's my type of NBA guys.
What do you mean by that?
He
On some
gets
goon type.
buckets on that goon timing. Yo, dude, we're getting crazy on PEMDAS podcast right
man.
now. He gets buckets. He has a really high efficiency in terms of the isolation. I don't know the numbers, but you can look it up, figure it out. I just like how he plays in that aspect. But see, Derek likes to figure out what wins games versus what pleases his eyeballs, and there's nothing wrong with that. I just like what I see with my eyeballs with Ace Bailey. So I think he could make something work. On the Sixers, he just can't. I just don't see him as a true number 1A ever on a team.
No. And he's,
So-
he's
No.
probably
He
not,
wouldn't be on the
he's probably not
Sixers.
going to go third, honestly.
I think Edgecombe's going to take over. I really do.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it's-
or Maxey.
Yeah.
I guess. Yeah, so he wouldn't have to be a 1A.
Yeah.
But Gordy, so then
He'd fit him well, I think.
does VJ Edgecombe, does he fit the Sixers, though, with Jared McCain? Would he
He
play the
could.
2? He would play the 2, you think?
He might play a small 3.
Is he 6'5"?
Yeah.
You can play a small 3 with Embiid on the court.
Yeah.
It'd be fine.
Yeah.
I mean, teams do that. We played Anthony Edwards at the 3 for a while back in the day. It didn't work.
Because then Paul George is gone for them.
They're
Yeah.
gonna
Well,
try
there's
to
no reason to
contract dump
keep
him or
Paul
something.
George.
Yeah. Because he has, 2 years left?
Well, and they got Maxey, though. That's
So
the problem. I
crazy.
didn't realize. Like,
Oh, and
Yeah.
I don't think they're going to take Edgecombe.
yeah, they
just
might go
because
Ace
of the
Bailey.
fit.
They actually might go Ace Bailey.
I think Edgecombe's
Yeah.
a better player, though. I would take Edgecombe 3 and Bailey 4.
I think Edgecombe currently is a better player. I think Ace Bailey has more potential.
I agree, yeah.
I mean, Ace Bailey has probably the second highest potential in this draft.
Yeah, he has more than Harper, too.
Yeah,
Yeah,
Flag's
for sure.
1, and then
Yeah.
Ace Bailey would have the second highest.
Yeah, everyone wants him to become like a KD or like Carmelo
Yeah.
Anthony.
He's
type thing.
just like Jabari Smith too, like one of those type of guys.
Exactly, and that's why I like him.
He's
again.
more mobile than Jabari Smith was, though.
Yeah, he's small,
But
like,
he's
too,
not as
shorter.
good. He's not a good defender. Jabari Smith was a good defender.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's
Mr.
there's
Sit in the
just
corner
so
all
many
game.
different things.
No action called for him.
Hornets. I feel bad for the Hornets. I mean, they got the 4th pick, which is better than the Jazz and the Wizards. But all 3 of those teams.
The Hornets at least have
poverty.
two stars that in the future potentially, like Mark Williams is a really good player.
Yeah, they just need to stay healthy.
Yeah.
Like he could be an all-star player at some point in his career.
Yeah, they also kind of
In
have
the
like
East, yeah.
they kind of have the young team syndrome where they're like used to losing now,
Yeah.
and you
Yeah.
kind of need to shake that. I don't know how that happens, whether it's a coaching change, whether they bring in some vets or something.
They do need
Maybe
vets.
Jordan
They have no
becomes the coach.
vets.
Yeah,
They have no
who's
vets.
the coach?
Maybe Jordan becomes the coach.
MJ. Remember he
That'd be
smacked
sick.
No,
remember he
MJ's
smacked
gonna
Malik Monk?
MJ's
going on
TV.
NBC. He's going
MJ's on
NBC
Yeah,
TV
now.
yeah.
Bro. Remember when he
parlay
smacked
is
Malik
gonna be
Monk? You know what I'm
crazy.
talking
I
about?
do remember that. Yeah,
Put it on the screen.
dude, Malik Monk, dog.
Yeah, dude. And then Jazz 5, right? Jazz 5 and
Jazz-
Wizards
yeah,
6.
Jazz
I'm
5.
pretty sure.
Jazz 5.
Jazz, dude.
The
brutal.
Jazz. I'm sorry.
I mean, they have the draft capital to move up if they want. They have so many first-round picks coming up.
They need them.
Might as well just package them in. I don't know.
I think they're in the worst position in the West by far.
The Jazz.
Yeah.
It sucks being in
Who's the
West
worst
for them.
position in the league?
Wizards probably.
I think it's got to be someone in the West just because there's so many good
I think the
teams.
Nets.
The Nets are in the worst position. No, they're a big market though.
They're a big market. They have picks again. They've control of their picks again because they traded to get them back. They used to have no control of their picks. They would have been.
And they have
Well,
D'Angelo
okay.
Russell.
They have the worst. They have the worst roster.
Yeah,
I think.
roster's
I guess
bad.
I would probably say the Wizards are in the worst, but like in the future, the Wizards have the
Wizards
worst.
are the worst.
Yeah.
Wizards, yeah.
The worst
They have
future.
no hope.
But I mean, I think they'll make the playoffs before the Jazz do, just because of how stacked the West
I don't know.
is.
It's always so random with the bottom feeder teams. It's like, do you get a guy that hits?
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
true. Like, I don't know.
Yeah. And then Wizards we just talked about.
Yeah, I would say the Jazz are the worst in the West, and the Wizards are the worst in the
Yeah.
East right now.
Oh, really
Yeah.
quick, I want to switch gears. So, talking about the rigging of the lottery, we flash back to the Knicks, the famous first ever draft lottery
84.
with the bent envelope. So we know. I mean, that is like,
It's possible.
Shout out Mike
It's definitely
Korzemba for that
possible.
video back in the day.
yeah.
Great
Actually,
video.
that's what.
Actually,
that is
shout
what
out
I'm
Mike
thinking of.
Korzemba.
Yeah.
Shout out Mark Zemba.
Mark Zuckerberg.
Shout out Zuckerberg. So makes the best videos on the NBA. But like, I think it's pretty accepted. I mean, maybe not fully, but that was probably rigged.
Oh yeah, that one. Yeah.
Yeah. So
There's calls
we know
that
that
are
the
made,
NBA.
yeah.
I mean, it's a different commissioner, but we know that they're not opposed to it.
Yeah. I mean, also, like, they are an entertainment business. They will do what's best. to make
Yeah,
the
they're
most
trying to make money, and they're really competing with the NFL. If we're really being
Yeah,
honest, and
they are.
the NFL's winning.
So
Oh,
the thing
by
is,
far,
I don't think
yeah.
the NBA will ever pass the NFL, like, globally and even maybe like nationwide. Personally, for me, like, I don't really care. I love watching the NBA.
Yeah,
I like
same.
talking about
Both
it
can
too.
coexist.
Like, it'll never change for me.
Oh yeah, I mean they're the two top sports in
Yeah,
America by far.
yeah.
Yeah.
But like, I honestly think, I mean, this is like not what we were doing the episode about, but the NBA, I think actually will probably be bigger globally than
Globally,
the NFL.
yeah.
Unless the NFL makes
Just not viewer wise, maybe, but like overall,
Yeah.
like
if the
Is-
NFL finally makes their European division,
that.
That would-
Oh.
be a big thing.
But
for
think
them.
about this: at the end of the day, soccer and basketball are the two that are like the biggest sports because kids can just walk out
Everybody
and grab a
plays
ball.
Well,
Just go
cricket,
and pick a ball.
I think cricket's too, but yeah, I know what
Yeah,
you mean.
cricket.
Well, like
Like,
American sports.
Yeah,
American sport,
yeah.
like you can just walk out and pick up a basketball.
Yeah, you
Find
don't
a
have
hoop.
to,
You
like-
can pick
yeah.
up a soccer ball and kick it. And find a goal.
One out of like 10 people can have a basketball.
Yeah.
Then you're
And that's why hockey's
Yeah.
gonna be capped always.
Exactly, yeah.
Yeah.
And football, you need so much more equipment if you want to actually play legit.
Like a full
football.
game.
And
Yeah.
then like
You can play flag or like touch and stuff.
Yeah,
but-
and
Flag's
then
actually
football by
becoming big.
yourself too is AIDS. Like,
Yeah,
Exactly.
how do you,
throw the
you
football
can't just
up
go
to
shoot
yourself.
basketball.
That's
You
only
need
fun.
something to
That's only
do.
fun for
You
like
hit
5
yourself,
minutes.
tackle yourself.
Yeah,
Tackle yourself.
start jumping around. But no, I'm excited for the rest of how the next few years and decades go in all sports because the ratings, like we kind of hinted towards, we're getting a little lower with the NBA. I remember people were getting pretty mad about all the drama and all that, and then all of a sudden, oops, random Saturday night or Friday night, I don't remember, it was the weekend when the Luka trade went.
And guess what happened to the
And
ratings?
then all of a sudden ratings
Yeah.
exploded.
Funny how
And
that works.
this playoff's been a good playoff. We'll talk about it in our next episode.
Oh, it's been
but
great.
It's been a good playoff.
Wasn't
Yeah.
that around the Super Bowl too? Wasn't the Luka
Yeah.
trade right before
right
the
after
Super Bowl?
it. Right after
I
it.
think
Yeah.
it was. I remember.
It
I
was
think it was
really
before.
around
close
it, I
to
don't remember
yeah.
It was around there because
February.
I remember people were talking about the Luka thing so much that like no one was really talking about Chiefs Eagles. I think it was a little bit before the Super Bowl.
I think it was, yeah.
But we
Yeah,
can
because they were asking players about it at the press conferences, I think. Yeah.
Yep. So
Yeah.
people,
think
I
so.
remember because I genuinely
tripping.
kind of stopped thinking about the Super Bowl for about a week because I was like, "Yo, this is the biggest trade in almost sports history we've seen in our childhood."
I think
So
it is, yeah.
It's super.
And the
super
Super Bowl
big.
was going to be mid anyways. Eagles, Chiefs, no one really cared about that.
Yeah.
Yeah, that'd be like if the Thunder played the Celtics this year, which won't happen anymore.
Yeah, and we'll get into
Oh,
that
Boston.
in our next video of our second round reactions.
There we go.
So make sure we tune in. You tune into the second round reactions video that actually is done.
It's already up.
before this.
Yep.
So you guys will get to hear
Watch
our
it again.
second-hand
Let's
Go back,
reactions.
rewatch it again.
Go back, rewatch after
Our
you
takes
get
are
this
great.
one. We did so well in that video.
Oh, small announcement also.
Mhm.
We are on Spotify.
Yeah, we
Oh,
are on
If you listen to
Spotify.
podcasts on Spotify, just look up the PEMDAS podcast
Yes.
And TikTok.
and the PEMDAS podcast on
We're
TikTok.
posting clips on
Jack
TikTok.
me off. I know
TikToks.
you're watching. Pull out your phone, look up TikTok.
Coming
Yeah,
up here, gonna get some mics, gonna get this thing rolling a little bit.
Yeah, we're upgrading equipment. We'll get there.
Potentially some passes. We'll see if we can get in there.
Yeah.
Yeah, keep in mind for training camp around August, we might be having something special.
Mr. McCarthy,
Might
right
be
there.
having some special
The fan.
happen.
Up and close. And we
So-
might be getting a new camera, see our lovely faces even better.
Exciting
That'll
stuff.
be epic. But that was a great wrap of the old draft lottery. We talked storylines, all the
That's all we are.
results, everything.
Storylines.
We are just so focused.
We're the media.
We
on
are
this
storyline.
I
media.
thought you ate with that line.
We
We
are-
are storyline.
We are here to give you guys what we think. Until the next video, we'll see you around. Peace.
Peace.